Hello, in this video we'll see what are the factors that affect price elasticity of demand. So the first one you find, we'll start from nature of commodity. So when you say nature of commodity, it is influenced, that is the price elasticity is influenced by what kind of commodity a consumer buys. It may be necessity, or it may be for comfort or luxury. So when a commodity is a necessity like food grains, medicines, vegetables, the demand is inelastic because it is required for human survival. So even at any price we buy. Even whether the price goes down or goes up, even that is at the time when the prices goes up, we still demand the particular commodity because it is for the survival. So it is a necessity. So the demand does not fluctuate with the increase in price. So that is nature of commodity. So when a commodity like fan or refrigerator, you find the demand is generally elastic because the consumer can postpone its consumption. If a commodity is luxury like air condition, then demand is generally more elastic as compared to demand for comforts. The next one, availability of substitutes. Demand for a commodity with a large number of substitutes will be more elastic. The reason is even a small rise in prices will induce the buyers to go for the substitute products. Example, if a price of Pepsi goes up, the consumer will prefer to buy something else, other drink. It can be anything, Coke or anything. So, the availability of close substitutes makes the demand sensitive to change in prices. Whereas the commodities with few or no substitutes like wheat and salt have less price elasticity of demand. The next one, income level. The elasticity of demand for any commodity is generally less for higher income level groups in comparison to people with low incomes. Rich people are not influenced by much changes in the price of goods, but poor people are highly affected by increase or decrease in the price of goods. As a result, demand for lower income group is highly elastic. So the income of the consumer. So it varies for rich, higher income group people and lower income group people. The next one, level of price. The level of price affects the price elasticity of demand. Costly goods like laptop have a highly elastic demand as the demand is very sensitive to changes in prices. Whereas demand for inexpensive goods like it can be needle or it can be a matchbox, you find it is inelastic as change in prices do not change the demand by a considerable amount because the amount you are spending on this is less. So the price depends on the level of price of commodities. The next one, postponement of consumption. Commodities like biscuits or soft drinks whose demand is not urgent have highly elastic demand as their consumption can be postponed in case of increase in their prices. But commodities like saving drugs, which has got urgent demand, have inelastic demand because of their immediate requirement. The next one, number of uses. If the commodity is considered under several uses, then demand will be elastic. When price of commodity, such a commodity increases, it is generally put to only more urgent uses. As a result, the demand falls. When the prices fall, it is used for satisfying even less urgent needs and demand rises. So electricity is a multiple use commodity. Fall in its price will result in substantial increase in its demand, particularly in those uses like using AC or heat convector, etc., where it was not employed formally due to its high price. So this is what meant by a number of uses, that it depends on the price we put them into multiple uses. Share in total expenditure. The proportion of consumers' income that is spent on a particular commodity also influences the elasticity of demand for it. Greater the proportion of income spent on the commodity, more elastic it is. And demand for goods like salt, soap, matchbox tend to be inelastic as consumers spend a small proportion of his income on such goods. So when prices of such goods change, consumption continues, or the consumer continues to purchase almost the same quantity of these goods. However, if the proportion of income spent on commodity is large, then the demand for such commodity will be elastic. The next one, time period. Price elasticity of demand always related to time period. It can be a day or a month or a week, year or several years. So elasticity of demand varies directly with the time period. Demand is generally inelastic in the short period. It happens because consumers find it difficult to change their habits in the short period in order to respond to a change in the price of a given commodity. However, demand is more elastic in long run as it is comparatively easier to shift to other substitutes if the price of the given commodity rises. Next one, habits. Commodities which have become habitual necessities for the consumers have less elastic demand. It happens because such a commodity, because he is continuously using, it becomes a necessity for the consumer. So he continues to spend money on it even if the price rises. For example, alcohol, tobacco, cigarettes. So it can be concluded that elasticity of demand for a commodity is affected by a number of factors. However, it is difficult to say which particular factor or combination of factors determines the elasticity. So it will depend upon the circumstances of each case.